This is Bailey from Virginia. I know everybody's calling in to talk about Russia and Ukraine and stuff like that, but I just recently went to a Jordan Peterson event in my local city, and I was just curious what your guys' read. They were a gift, believe it or not, from one of my friends.
That's pretty good. That's the best
Christmas gift. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to pay for it. But I was just curious what your guys' read on his influence is in 2022. Because I noticed some pretty interesting observations when I was there about, like, the crowd.
What are they?
That subverted my expectations a little bit. First of all, it was just a much older crowd than I was expecting. I always figured he was like, you know, the cool dark professor that the young people like.
That's pretty good.
But it was a much, thank you. It was a much older crowd than I was expecting. I remember when I first got there, he had made an announcement on his Twitter or something like that there was going to be a special guest. And where I was sitting, I was sitting at like the top like rafters, and there was an older woman sitting next to me, and I remember saying to my girlfriend who was there with me, who was a trooper, by the way, getting through this whole thing.
Yeah.
I remember saying to her, if the guest is Dave Rubin, I'm going to lose my mind. And the woman next to me, her ears perked up, and she turned to me and goes, "Is Dave Rubin here?"
Oh,
and I was like,
my God.
"Oh, I don't know. I hope." And I was like, "I don't know. I hope so." And she goes, "I love Dave Rubin."
Oh
my!
And I was like, "Me too." And and eventually the show starts, and the surprise guest is Michaela Peterson. Which, by the way, Sam, I'm going to be at the Boston show, and if your surprise guest is Michaela Peterson, I'm going to be very disappointed. But Michaela Peterson comes out and talks about. She just immediately starts pitching her like all her grifts, her diets, stuff like that. And Jordan came out. After that, huge applause. People were stoked to see him. And he essentially took an hour and a half to, essentially say you need to make goals for yourself and do the best you can to accomplish them in his, dark professor manner. He stretched that out into about 90 minutes. But what was really interesting was the Q&A.
Now you know what the Boston show is going to be about.
It's self-help.
Yep.
I mean, you would probably do self-help better than him. Frankly, I'd be more willing to listen to your advice. Anyway, so he begins doing the Q&A, and I don't know, maybe I could email you. Because the list of questions is still there, because it was fascinating to think people were interested in hearing what he had to say about.
Do that. Maybe what we'll do at the Boston or Brooklyn show is we'll answer those questions.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. What should I send it to?
majorityreporters@gmail.com.
We'll flag that.
Just,
Okay, perfect.
put in the subject line, Jordan Peterson
Anyway,
questions.
Don't tell us the questions now, because I want them. I want them cold.
Perfect. Okay.
Right, but send them now.
Then I'll skip that. I'll save that. But I guess I've talked long enough. I was just curious what your guys' read on his influences still. Is he gaining popularity? Is the whole
I don't think so.
We'll let you go when we'll answer that question. We'll let
appreciate
you
it.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
Thanks.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I have people in my life who only knew he was the guy that was the self-help guy. I mean, the make your bed, clean your room, and have discipline in your life, and you'll be able to achieve more. That was what I had heard from men in my life. There are no women that really listened to him, but I think that he's become so transparently right-wing that for those, maybe he's gained an audience with just a right-wing audience, but the people who are on the margins, I think, are gone.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think he's more defined now, and I think that does create a good speaking circuit for him, because he, like, really what this is we need to expand higher education so like older people can go and listen to some lectures, because that everyone is so massively, like, all these people are so massively impressed by his lectures when they're really just the most basic sort of that's reworkings of like his message into like Plato or whatever.
His relevance as a cultural icon has shifted, I think, into where he's like a right-wing cultural icon. And in that world, they love digestible, presumably academic like stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like Reader's Digest. It is not a coincidence that was a magazine that like the people who read Reader's Digest were conservative. I mean, it was like, it doesn't have it is accessible, but making you think like you're absorbing something intellectual.
Yeah.
And that's why like Ben Shapiro does so well in that universe. And why Dave Rubin's going to have trouble in that universe. Because he can't even sound smart.
Or Barry Weiss, for that matter.
Barry Weiss is also one of those.
But Brett Weinstein, also a former professor. And,
yes,
and Peterson,
perfect example.
And that's why they're so good at this, because Peterson does this thing, and you can search this one on your own. Jordan Peterson, Tower of Babel. And it's like, actually, this is why multiculturalism doesn't work so well. And it's like a 10-minute thing of him just explaining the Tower of Babel to folks, and all these old folks in the audience be like, oh my gosh, yes. And it's like church, but at someplace else.
It's the aesthetics of intellectualism, or of smartness, of like you're learning something without really being taught anything that changes your opinion of the world. In fact, it reinforces the wrong things.